Welcome to the Preeminence Daily Podcast. I am your host, Matthew J. Peters, founder of Ascend. Be sure to grab your ultimate guide to preeminence at preeminence.tv. Today we're talking about It's Like It Never Happened. So tune in, listen up, and get ready to take a focused action on your mission, message, and presence to create accelerated results starting right now. Several months ago, we were looking to put together a project which was actually a big event, taking over a theater and having multiple speakers. And one of the people we reached out to, she is a friend of ours, and she actually works for the former Vice President of the United States. She would coordinate all of their special meetings. And one of the things she shared with us was so brilliant, so obvious, I'm surprised I never realized this. She said, when we would have a presidential event, we had to have coverage. We had to have photographers. We had to have videographers. And I said, well, I understand it's important. Why was it so imperative that you had videographers and photographers? She said, because if it was not videographed, if it was not photographed, it was like it never happened, and people would think that you weren't doing anything. And I realized this, that on your road to preeminence, people need to know what you're doing. You can blog about things, you can show pictures of you and your family on vacation, but you need to let people know about the work you're doing every day. Whenever you have an event, it doesn't matter if it's for a table of 4 people or 7 people, unless it's super private and people don't want their photo taken. Get some photos in there. If you're going to be doing a one-day event, have your videographer or have a local videographer meet you there and shoot video of you giving your event. One of the best things I did as an investment when I first started out was I did a one-day event, and I paid about $2,500 for some guys to rent equipment and set up multiple cameras and shoot my event. What would have happened if I wouldn't have captured that event? It would be like it never happened. People would see that thing in the past that, oh yeah, didn't you do that one thing back in 2012? But I have that full event. I have hours and hours of training. I literally put together 104 pages of content that I delivered over the course of a day. Now, it's very different than what I would do today. But back then, I really gave people an entire blueprint of how to do their video marketing strategy from the very beginning, having their ideas of what they wanted to start to completing it online. I did it in one day. I had 3 other speakers that day. And I had lots of photographs taken. I had hours and hours of video, and I turned that video into a product. I sold that product and also gave that product away as a bonus to some of my training. Also, I gave it as a bonus to other people's trainings. So when people buy another person's training, that would be a bonus that would have like $197, like the ticket value, to that bonus. Your action step is to think through, what are you going to be doing over the next several weeks, the next several months? Are you going to be speaking at an event? Are you going to be doing a live stream for someone? Are you going to be doing a podcast? Are you going to be interviewed? You can rely on other people to maybe have a camera there, maybe videotaping it. Maybe the live stream will be recorded, maybe it won't. Maybe that podcast interview they'll put out in 6 months. But if you take the initiative and you're going to be at an event, you hire the videographer, you hire the photographer, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money. You can find a photographer for $150, shoot it onto your SD card, so they just give you the raw files when they're done. You take that and you can have your media team or yourself go through those photos and just pick the best and start putting them up. You don't have to wait for anybody, or you have to beg someone, hey, do you have video of that project? Remember when I spoke at your event in front of 400 people or 1,000 people? Can I get that video from you? There's no reason for you to have to beg when you have your own videographer and you have the permission, the non-exclusive rights for you to be able to use that content that you provided as well. I mentioned Gary Vaynerchuk a lot. And one of the things that Gary V does is when he speaks at an event, people pay him a lot of money. They fly him all over the world to do this. he will take that same high-ticket event content, literally, that he records it, and he posts it up on his podcast for free. So what people invest $10,000, $25,000, $50,000 to have Gary Vee speak for them at their event, he will then go ahead and turn around his recording and put it up on his podcast for free. So I want you to think about this as your action step. Go through what you're going to be speaking at, who is going to be interviewing you, and just make sure you record it. Make sure you take the photographs. Make sure you have the video. Don't rely on anybody else to have that for you. And as soon as they give you permission sometimes you don't even ask for permission. You just do a little clip of your side of the interview and just have your iPhone set up if you need to. You're going to be doing a Skype interview. Just set up your iPhone and shoot some of it and post some of it up on Instagram. Just make sure you're recording your stuff. Make sure that when you do any kind of presentation that you are able to repurpose it for your marketing or for training or for a bonus later on. All right, I just want you to think through that, and I look forward to seeing how you use this in your future. This daily podcast is all about you becoming the preeminent voice in your marketplace. So take the consistent and necessary action each and every day on what you've learned over the last few minutes. When, not if, when you're ready to take your business, your organization, your name, your brand, and your commitment to the level of preeminence, head on over to preeminence.tv where you can download your own copy of the Ultimate Guide to Preeminence, enroll in the Elevation program, and join us on one of our next live events. If you're not subscribed, simply visit iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play right now and click subscribe. Until tomorrow, make today and each and every day count towards creating preeminence in your space and a legacy that matters.